Yo, good people. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me, yo. Please let me know. Let me know. Please let me know. Let me know. I'm sorry. I got a rig here. Don't mind my rig. Don't mind. Okay, yeah. You can't hear. Hold on. My head lopsided. Everything going on wrong, yo. Let me know. Let me know. All right, y'all, come on in. Come on in. As y'all can see, I'm not in the studio again. But I'm here, though, and I'm finna look at something real quick. I'm here. I'm not at the studio, but I'm here. Come on in. Come on in. Jesus, doors are never locked. You can be black or white, rich or poor, young or old. You can say, hey, TJ, what's up, bro? What up, man? I'm trying to look at my notes real quick, y'all. Give me a second. TJ, how you doing, dog? You can be black or white, rich or poor, young or old. Um, yes, sir. Hold on, let me see what I'm gonna do, y'all. Um, hey. As y'all can see, I'm not in the studio, but that's all good. I'm looking through my notes. Give me 1 second. I feel like a preacher. Mm, 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 mm. I think I know what I want to talk about. I think I want to talk about I think I want to talk about like what it means to like build. Can y'all? I mean, I know y'all can see me, but the way my camera is, I look funny. But in Jesus' name, it's all right. But I think I want to talk about to everybody that's watching, share this live. I'm gonna talk to like producers and creatives today about building a brand and building like your own space. Like I live in a small city in North Carolina. Everybody knows that, called Rocky Mount, Wilson, Goldsboro, that area, whatever you wanna. For everybody who lives in that area, Rocky Mount, Wilson, Greenville, Goldsboro. We live in a place where people don't really know where we are outside of the state. If you go outside of the state and you say, I live in Wilson, if you say I live in Goldsboro, if you say I live in Greenville, they're like, where that's at? You always have to say it's an hour from Raleigh, an hour and a half from Durham, that sort of thing, that sort of thing. And I've never left where I live. A lot of people thought that I did. Let me make sure I'm good. A lot of people thought that I left where I live, but I didn't. Some people I know have moved for various reasons, and I don't know what the future holds for me as far as moving, but I have not moved. And the crazy thing about what I'm saying is in 2023, if you have a huge gift, if you have an impactful message, if you have a product you want to sell, we live in a time where it don't matter where you live no more. Um, if you build something that people need, if you build something that people love, if you have something to say that can be impactful to people, superstar was good. If you have something that can be impactful to people, like you don't have to leave where you live anymore. Like with social media, with the internet, with Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and all of these different distribution centers, as I like to call them. A lot of people use social media for personal, but like if you have something to say or you have something to sell, using social media as a distribution center for your information and your product is a game changer. So much so that it don't matter where you live. Um, some people move for networking. Some people move because they just get sick of the air. Some people move because they feel like there's no opportunities where they live. But the internet has even the playing field where there's just as much opportunity for you as there is for somebody in, say, California or LA to be specific, or a New York or an Atlanta or Chicago. Like there's opportunities for you everywhere if you use the internet. Like, and the biggest thing is like knowing what you have to say, knowing what you want to build, and being consistent. Like our platform is very, very small, and it has been growing every day, slowly but surely, because of our persistence and our consistency. And I just want to encourage people with the gift that may not have the resources to move or may not have the finances to move or may not have the courage to move, to be honest, because sometimes people are reserved because they don't know what to expect. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to move to make moves. Like you can build without moving. You can build where you are, your little small town. You can literally use the internet to bring awareness to who and what you are and what you offer, sell, create, to the point where people will, you'll be sought after, is what I'm trying to say. You'll be sought after where you can create opportunities for yourself where people say, hey, can you come here? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you come over here? Can you do this? Can you do that? And that's the vibes. Like get into a place where you say, you know what? If I don't have the money, if I don't have the resources, um, if I don't have the connections, even if I live in a little city, even if I live in a small state, I have my phone and I have my gift. I have my phone and I have my gift. And those two things together with a consistent strategy of exposing yourself can change your life, literally. The impact that the podcast has made, the RXS podcast, if y'all don't know, is on RXS Entertainment YouTube channel. The latest episode is with Rika Faison Dixon, How to Turn Grief into Good Grief. She talks about losing her son, our very good friend, Terrence Faison. Like, so y'all go check that out on the RXS Entertainment channel. Like, that is a thing that me and my wife had the idea to start a while ago. At first, it was just me and her, and then life started life, and then we stopped, and then we started it back up, and have friends be guests. Like most of the guests that we've had so far are people who are like close to us, and the impact that it has had, I would have never thought like the messages that I've gotten, I would have never thought I would get those. And we do it from where we live. We do it from where we live, and it is impacting people who don't live where we live. And that's the moral of the story. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with us. I keep telling y'all that every day. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with the podcast. We don't know what's going to happen with this production stuff. But we do know that it is our goal and our duty to serve, and we strive to use what we know how to do to be of service. And all we can do is believe in what we have. All we can do is believe in what we do and trust and have faith that it'll become a life-changing thing for us from a monetary standpoint, from an impact standpoint. Like, we're believing that if we continue to do it and use the internet, that versus chasing people, like notable people, or chasing placements. That's the term. Placements is a term that's used when artists and producers and writers are trying to get their song recorded by a major artist. So whether it's chasing placements or chasing notable people or moving to another state, I'm believing personally that I believe personally that you don't have to do all of those things if you have a message, if you have a gift, and you use the internet every day. You don't have to do those things. Vale, what up? You don't have to do what I guess people used to do. I guess like those types of things were something you had to do before the internet because nobody would know you exist. But there are people we know right now that reach thousands of people from home, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people from home. There are people who get brand deals. There are people who get musical instrument endorsements from like making videos at home. Mono Neon is a perfect example of someone who sat in his room and made a career and made a brand from his home, where he has a sponsorship with Fender, got a sponsorship with the sock company, um, travels all over the world as a bass player for other artists and as an artist himself. Superstar, she says she enjoys the show and start thinking about starting to sing again. And let me tell you something, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Motivating and inspiring and informing the music community is what my wife and I are all about. Like how Superstar saying like she enjoys the show and she's thinking about singing again. That's the vibes. Like to impact people in a way where they say, hey, watching y'all or a song y'all made just gave me the courage to go after what I believe in. I used to do it, but I stopped doing it because I was discouraged or I was in a low place, so I didn't feel like I was getting any support. Like those are the type of people that I want to talk to. Like, hey, I wanted to do it, but something happened with my parents that made me stop, or something happened with something like life always happens, and the events that happen in life sometimes discourage us from doing the things that we're gifted to do. That's just the truth. Like we're gifted in so many ways, and But we don't have to move. We don't have to chase. God, we don't have to chase. We don't have to chase trends. We don't have to chase fads. We don't have to chase. We live in a day where you can literally, I see independent artists every day. La Russell is one of them. I was talking about La Russell before when I had some people in the live working on the song. He's somebody from California who literally has the concerts in his backyard. And he's built up his brand so much so that, excuse me, labels call him. People want him to go here. People call him to do different interviews. And he did it from home with a team of friends. And I want to encourage everybody to like have that mentality now. Some people will move, some people will get major placements, some people will find amazing people that'll put them on. Those routes are amazing routes and they still work. But for the ones who don't have the resources or don't know anybody yet or feel like they have something special where they don't need to go that route, yo, just use the internet and use your gift every day. Stay consistent. You don't have to move. You don't have to chase. I don't care how long it takes. I want to position myself and I want to build with my family in a way where I don't owe anybody anything. And even if that means moving slower, I don't want to owe anybody anything. Um, I don't want to uproot my family chasing something that we can build together from where we are and build the resources and build the infrastructure and build the networking to be able to make moves without it being a strain on anyone. So, again, one more time, I'm just encouraging everybody like, if you have a gift, if you have a message, if you have a product, and you live in a small town, it don't matter. If you give it all you got and service is your priority, it doesn't matter where you live with the internet. If you create content daily, if you post consistently, and you provide value to people, it don't matter where you live. Just do your thing, never stop doing it, and eventually your life will change. My wife and I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where we're going, but we get up every day and we put one foot in front of the other. There are situations, issues, challenges, setbacks, discouraging things that do happen, are happening, and we decided that doesn't matter as much as believing in you guys first, believing in ourselves, believing in God, believing in serving. That's the vibes. So before I go one more time, as long as you have the internet and your gift and your product and your service, you do not have to move. You can build from where you are and you can become sought after without leaving. You can become sought after if you're consistent and you have the heart for people, you have the heart to serve, and you have the heart to build. Hey, y'all, Kevin, listen, that's another. What's up, man? Uncle Kevin is one of my biggest inspirations, man. He started the International Musician Summit, and I was there at the first summit, and now it was the Guitar Summit then. Now it's the International Musician Summit now, and like it's not it's not a game. Mary said I didn't see y'all comments. I'm so sorry, y'all. Mary said, yes, the internet is great to be yourself and people will come. And that's the thing that I'm learning. Like, if you be yourself, people will come. Like, Uncle Kevin, he's a good example. He has a event where, like, he just built it from home. He's from the Carolinas. Like, people come from all over the world as artists and musicians and as attendees. Like, I'm telling y'all, man, when you have something to offer the world, they'll come to you. They'll come to you, man. They will. When you have something great and when your heart is in the right place and your objective is to serve in whatever arena, whether it's healthcare, whether it's music, whether it's media, whether it's fashion, whether it's makeup. It don't matter what it is. Like if you have something and you're serving and you put in the work to perfect your craft and you use the internet and social media consistently, people will come. You won't have to chase. No one believed it could be done. Whoa. And God knows you did it, man. Jesus, I want to get Uncle Kevin on the podcast to talk about his life and the summit because he's an amazing guitar player, grew up in quartet, created an international event for musicians from right in North Carolina. And like that's a big deal. Like to even come from a genre like quartet and do something like that. Of course, we know it can be done because we know the capabilities, but everybody don't believe in it, like you said. And it's like to put on such an event at such magnitude and have the caliber of musicians that he be having, someone can easily say it's not possible. And then boom, 10 years later, this was the best one. Let's go. Sheesh. He's a living witness of like just building. If you build it, they will come. I've heard that so much, and I didn't used to believe that, but I'm gonna be transparent. When I, if you build it, they will come. I used to be skeptical of that phrase, and then I took accountability for my actions, and I realized I was skeptical of that phrase because I didn't have the courage to build. Yeah, that's a harsh truth. When I did not have the courage to build, I was skeptical of that phrase and that statement because I didn't believe it was true. Of course, you wouldn't believe something is true when the main portion of it you don't do. If you don't build, they won't come. So, yeah, you're right. You should be skeptical of it if you don't plan to build. Now I'm at a place where I'm just kind of like, you know what? Now I'm at a place where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to build and they will come. If I don't build, they won't come. If I want to be noticed, if I want recognition, the best way to get authentic recognition and respect for what you do is to do what you do well on a very consistent basis from a sincere and intentional place. Life changing things happen to people who are consistent, persistent, pure, and authentic. Life changing things happen. I see people every day who end up having their own TV shows, who end up being guest stars in TV shows, who end up scoring movies, who end up getting brand deals, who end up getting sponsorships as musicians, who end up in makeup commercials from the crib with a message, with a story, with consistency, with persistence and intentionality, being purposeful and building. Chris, what up? Next year, reverb will be involved. Never, never quit on your vision. Absolutely. See what I'm saying? That's a whole nother company. Like Uncle Kevin is building something. That's a whole nother company. The man from Paul Reed Smith came this year. I saw that. That's crazy. Chris Darden is another example. Anytime I talk about the internet and building a brand, Chris Darden will always be my North Star example because I saw him grow up, literally saw him grow up. He used to come to the conventions at Redbud and he played for his grandma. And all of a sudden, he decided to start making videos on the internet. Drummers, musicians thought he was crazy. And now those same drummers and musicians ask him to put them on, like ask them for opportunities. He is another one that's from a very, very small town. His town, his town smaller than mine. His town smaller than mine. Yo, he gonna be weak if he's still up here. His town is smaller than mine, but he used the internet, and now his life is changing. He served his grandma and used the internet until things shifted, and like Chris will be a part of the summit next year. Let's go, Chris Stevenson, my brother, is in here. Chris is another example. Like Chris is another example of someone who has used the internet. I'm talking about Chris. I'm telling people that like you don't have to move to grow. You don't have to move to another state to really make an impact or to make a difference or to build a business or to gain clients. Chris get clients from all over the world from his small town studio at the crib, going live. He's told me multiple times, like, hey, little bro, people be inboxing me, asking me to do this track, do that track, produce this song, do this, do this, do this, do this, all from me being at home on live. So he talking about, yeah, all you need is some Wi-Fi. All you need is some Wi-Fi. That's true. Like, and it's real. Like he go live very often, like me and my wife do. He's been going live like that for a very very long time, and it's like I'm telling you, man. No matter where you live, the internet makes it not matter. The internet makes the world one big city. And I'm starting to learn that like the internet makes the world one big city. Like I know people right now from all over the place, and they the homies, they brothers, they family, and it's like they from everywhere, and we work together from our homes. Like the internet makes the world one big city. Like if you're intentional, if you're authentic, and it doesn't matter who don't like it. It doesn't matter who don't agree with it. Um, it don't matter if your peers or your competition don't like your sound. It don't matter if people don't like your style. It don't matter if people disagree with your methods. It don't matter if people don't like you. If you're consistent and you're authentic and you're intentional, the people who God has assigned to you will come. Like it don't matter what nobody else think. It don't matter if nobody else style or sound. Um, yeah, like it don't matter. It don't matter. We all have our own lives. Chris, again, my brother, I grew up with him. Some of the stuff that he's done, I've personally thought, did it make sense? Some stuff I told him, most stuff I told him. We end up talking to each other about everything, whether it's in a knockdown, drag out way or just a regular way. We have conversed about a lot of things, and like Chris is one of the my brotherhood with Chris has been one of the biggest examples of respecting everybody's journey because we grew up together, and when you grow up with somebody there's a certain level of entitlement that you have in a relationship, and there's a certain level of confidence that you have in your opinion about people you grew up with, and sometimes you can be out of the pocket. And I'll say publicly, we've talked about it multiple times. We've been in multiple situations between him and I and others, like our other peers and family members, where it's like we don't know what's best for each other. If we don't understand it, say you don't understand it. And if you don't agree with it, it's okay to not agree with it. But you don't know why God has people doing what they do. You don't know the ins and outs of your people so thoroughly that you can afford to have such a strong opinion about what somebody should or shouldn't do. We never have enough information to ever say what somebody should or shouldn't do. We can give them advice if they ask for it based on our own experiences, but to be strong in our opinions about what somebody should or shouldn't do is simply not right. Um, it's not right. It's not right because all our paths are different, and then when everybody blow up, then we're gonna be clapping. Nah, Joker, you ain't. You told me this was stupid. You told me my production was whack. These are actually things that I've said. You told me this. You told me that. You told me that, and now it's like, hey, if when people continue and when people get better and when people block out the noise and they don't listen, they end up getting opportunities where they have power and they have influence to put you on in ways you never could have been put on. But your blessing would have been blocked through them if they would have believed what you had to say. Woo-wee. So like, man, shoot. E, don't ask for my advice. E, E is the prime example of somebody who, if you ask him, he will tell you. Zay Lou, what up, man? Um, we all have our own lanes. Let me show y'all what Chris said. We all have our own lanes, and we own. Yes, facts. That's another thing. Like, man, I'm a firm believer in building because let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you the truth. All people don't mean you well when they put you on. Let me say that again. All people don't mean well when they put you on. The most vulnerable place you can be in is to wait on somebody to put you on, and they do, and then they turn that into their claim to fame. Like they turn that into their claim of fame. Like, if it won't for me, boy, that's a very toxic statement that people make when they are validated by what they do for somebody else. Like, my validation and my worth is based on what I do for other people, not in a positive way. Because if it won't for me, is not positive. Um, People valuing. Let me make sure I frame it right. People who want to sow, people who want to give, and people who want to create opportunity from a genuine place, that's good. But people who want to say, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't even know how to do this. If it weren't for me, you would have never got that gig. You only on tour now because in 1988, I did so and so. I bought you that keyboard. Like, that is a very bad thing to do to people. So I encourage everybody, like, use the internet, build a brand, shut everybody out, so that you won't have to deal with people popping up out of nowhere talking about what they did for you and what you owe them. Like, because some people have unrealistic expectations because of something they did a long time ago. Do we disrespect what you did for us? No. Do we belittle what you did for us? No. But 10 years later, um, there's a lot that we did for ourselves. You sowed a seed that helped us continue. But we still had to put in work. So you're not single handedly responsible for my success. God is. You just played a part in it. I hate when my hat is weird, but I can't tell because I'm using my phone. Yeah. You played a part in it. And from a place of humility, we all play a part in people's success. Somebody may do something for me. I may do something for somebody. Hey, I gave you this snare back then, or we went in the studio for the first time together, or when somebody needed a background singer, I referred you, and now you're on big tours and you're an artist of your own. These are scenarios that really happen. Like, somebody needed a fill-in guitar player. I called my nephew from back home. Now he's a world-renowned guitarist. Hey, I couldn't do this session, and I called my little brother, and now he's one of the dopest session players in the game. These are things that we should do for each other because we love each other. When you want to see somebody win and there's ever an opportunity for you to sow into them to help them get further along, I think that should be our duty to each other as human beings, not with the expectation to get anything back or not to be able to gloat about putting people on, but about showing God that we're grateful for our relationships and resources, and we're not too stingy to extend a hand and help each other. Like, that just should be something that we do because we're people who love each other. Like, not to cash in later. Like, that's a weird way to do things. Hold on, Chris says something. Yep, they want to. Whoa. Yep, they want to be responsible for something. God bless you with. ROJAY to yes, not understanding it. Yes, yes, like single-handedly being responsible for someone's success is the way people frame it when really you just sowed a seed along the way. And at the end of the day, there are healthy ways to be and do what we do. There are healthy ways for us to give. Um, And when we do get in those places, when I've gotten in places where I felt a way about things, or when I get in places when I feel a way about things, I begin to ask instead of pointing the finger or lashing out, I begin to ask myself significant questions like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel disrespected? Why do I feel slighted? Why do I feel this, this, and this? What do I feel like I'm old? Why do I feel uncomfortable? Why did I say that? Why do I feel that? Why do I move that way? And the reason why I ask these questions is because as humans, we're gonna always make mistakes, and we're not gonna always miss the mark. I mean, we're not gonna always hit the mark. But one thing that makes a difference in everything we do is why we do it. I talked about that last night. We have to get to the place where, oh, my computer is about to die. So hold on. So I'm gonna end it soon. So my computer won't die on you. We have to get to a place. I'm gonna say this. We have to get to a place where we check our intentions. Doing good things with bad intentions makes the thing bad. Doing bad things with good intentions makes the thing bad. Doing good things with bad intentions. Here's an example. I'm gonna do this for you because one day you're gonna owe me. The thing you did may help the person, but the intention behind it is going to cause problems later on down the line. It's going to be an issue later on down the line because you've already premeditated them paying it back. That's not good. Doing a bad thing with good intentions. Belittling someone in hopes to make them better at what they do. That's bad because even though you want to make them better at what they do, what you said to them hurt them. So instead of them getting better, they're worse because of the effects of your words. So you have to check your intentions. You got to always have good intentions and you got to always do things from a pure and honest place. Like if you want somebody to grow and you don't think they're doing their best, telling them what they are not and what they will never be is not going to help them. Telling them what they're capable of and what you see in them will help them. With the other example, what was my other example? If you want to position yourself to build a reciprocal relationship, you tell a person, "Hey, I really want to establish a relationship with you. I don't always have money, but I would love for us to create some kind of relationship or barter or something because sometimes I'm going to need you and I'm not going to always be able to afford it. Is there something we can work out?" It's better to do that than to put somebody on waiting to cash in but never communicate that and then come to them later like, yo man, you remember that time I see now you messed up because now I ain't finna do nothing for you because now you ain't doing it right. So like we gotta check ourselves and we gotta check our intentions and ask ourselves hard questions of like why we do what we do. And yeah, because we're gonna always make mistakes. We're not gonna always hit the mark. We're not gonna always have good days, but we can always have good intentions. And we can always be intentional about the way we serve, the way we help, the way we communicate. There's always a healthy way to express our desires, our insecurities, our frustrations. There's a healthy way to do it all. And there's no experience, there's no trauma that justifies treating people bad ever, 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 ever. Never, 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 never. There's never a good enough reason. There's no experience that you could have ever experienced in your life that makes it okay for you to not treat people good. Like, it's never okay. It's never okay. There's never a time. Now, can people be empathetic of your experience? Yes. But does that make how you treat people right? Hecky no. So we need to check ourselves, which brings us back to this point. Position yourself to be a person who builds what they build with godly people who have good intentions and use the internet to do it. You don't have to chase people. You don't have to chase opportunity. You don't have to owe nobody to build your brand. You don't have to owe nobody to sell your product. As long as you have good intentions, a good product, consistency on the internet, and the willingness to serve, your life can change. And y'all are watching our journey. We have a small platform that's growing every day because we're trying to practice what we preach. So it is, as my wife would say, we don't know where we're going, but we know we're going somewhere, and we want y'all to go along with us. That's the vibes. We're gonna celebrate when we get there, as she would say. But yeah, I love y'all. I'm gonna stop this before my computer die on y'all. Peace.